Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
All right, pirates. This week we are going to finish up our North American artwork. So after you finish the lesson, you are going to turn it in by clicking that gray box to the right of the video, excuse me, the video, where it says submit. And you're going to take a picture and submit your assignment. You can also post it on our Padlet, and the link to that is under the red folder for class information. And I can't wait to see what your picture looks like. So I will see you on Friday at our live session, and have fun this week. All right, my friends, we are going to continue working on our Native American landscape. So if you remember, we started with a landscape. We had 2 teepees, one up front, and that would be bigger, and then the other one I put further back in our midground, so it's a little bit smaller. We also had to have 2 other elements on the page, so they could be a nature element or an animal element or a cultural element. So I have a bear, I have a fire, I have some smoked or drying meat, I have 2 nature elements, a river and some mountains, and then I have the 2 teepees. You absolutely have to have 2 teepees, and then you have to have 2 other elements, your choice. I have more than 2 extra elements. You can as well. And then you need to have something in the background, middle ground, and foreground. So what's in the foreground, where I'm pointing right now, is going to be bigger than what's in the middle ground, and what's in the middle ground is going to be bigger than what's in the background. As things go farther away, they get smaller. Okay, and as they get closer, they get larger. So keep that in mind when you are drawing and coloring. That will also affect the color. As things get closer, they get brighter and more colorful. As things fade away, they tend to get more dull and gray. So for our teepees, we're going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to remember that underneath the teepees, they're not getting any light. So they will be a little bit darker. We need to remember our shadows. Same thing with the sides of our teepees. They're going to have a little bit of a shadow when you are working on them, because as things go around, you will see that the sides are a little darker and the inside is a little lighter. So here I add a little shadow on the inside of my teepee, and here I'm going to add a little bit of shading on the sides to show that roundness. Okay, I'm going, anything in the middle that's closest to you will be lightest, just like our teepees. That one that's farther away will be a little bit duller and smaller. This one that's closest to us will be larger, and our shading on the right or on the edges will be a little bit darker than what we see in the center, because the center is closest to us. It will be the lightest. So I'm going to go through that center line I just drew will be the lightest part. And just add a little bit of shading on the left. Now for this project, you can use colored pencils or crayons, it's your choice, or you can use a combination. I like to use a combination because crayons give us that great texture, where pencils give us the precision. I also happen to have a lot more colors of crayons than I do colored pencils. So mix it up, it's up to you. If you only like colored pencils, that's fine. If you only like crayons, that's fine. Just please don't use markers because they fade. So you can see I'm mixing here a little bit of yellow colored pencil with some of that brown and tan to try to get that color of the hides that we saw on the teepees when they wrapped it around. Now I'm going to add a little bit more shading on the side because it still looks kind of flat. We really want it to look rounded. You'll notice I do a lot of layering when I'm coloring like this, because I don't always get what I want on the first try, and that's okay. Now we can start to see a little bit more rounding. It's starting to look like those sides are going further back and like that front is closing in on us or coming forward. Okay. Now we're going to end up coloring the entire page. We're going to go all the way to the edges, and we want to make sure that we have all the sky. We don't want to have a corner sun. Your sky can look like anything. It could be nighttime. You could put a sun between the mountains. That would be lovely. It could be sunrise, sunset. Just no corner suns because they typically come up from behind the horizon line rather than out of the corner of anything. When you're doing the ground, you can add flowers. You can add any details that you like. That is your choice. You can add extra details, extra additions. You can see I have way more than 2 animal, nature item or cultural item. I have lots and lots of extras. I think it just makes it way more interesting. So add those details away. You'll see I'm going to start adding color and shading. I just have those shadows on the side. Got my bear, my fire. Notice how I mixed it up with the fire even. Here's my river, adding those waves. My mountain. I'll add a couple of trees up front. Some texture to my mountains. I'm going to put that sun between the mountains, make it like a sunrise. Got the white caps on the mountain. Put in my green grass. And now I'm going in with the pencil to add some more details, because rarely do we see grass that's totally flat. Add in some browns. My Native American landscape comes to life. I can't wait to see yours. Take a picture and turn it in when you're done. I'll see you Friday.